Hey guys, Sean here, and believe it or not, after me saying last week that it could be the last episode of the Any Given Runday Podcast, welcome back for another episode of the Any Given Runday Podcast. I am joined by no one because I'm in social distancing. However, we do have a good recording going online here. We have Eric online. Say hello, Eric.
Hello, Eric.
We have Connor online. Say hello, Connor.
Hello, Connor.
We have Aaron online. Say hello, Puds. we kept that off for the entire season 1, I suppose, of it. I just thought we'd jump straight into it now because I know we're going to say that.
I've seen a man so happy to be told he has to stay indoors. Look at him.
He is thrilled with himself.
An extra chin there, you know, like.
Speaking of extra chin, I suppose, not doing much over the last week or two. Aaron, how have you found social distancing and quarantine? And have you done any runs in the last 2 weeks?
No, I think the last time I was out I didn't do a run there this week at all. So I've been kind of fat. And then the last week, I think I did one run. So, I'm pretty good at the social distancing stuff, I guess,
Well, in fairness to you, ever since the Madrid Marathon got cancelled, I have done a couple of runs, but my run's gone right down. I've been struggling to get motivated to do any runs. Connor, same question to yourself?
Yeah, I think, obviously we're fortunate in the sense that, last week, obviously the GA announced that basically all activities will be ceased. We've, our training's been dialed back to basically virtual training. We're given our sessions via WhatsApp and then told to complete them and track them. So I suppose that's still the accountability there. But I think, as with everyone, as soon as the Madrid Marathon was cancelled, automatically your mind shifts to everything and anything else as opposed to long distance. That being said, I suppose in accompaniment to the session we're doing with the hurdlers, I got out and did a couple of shorter runs, 5Ks, around a 5K best, inspired by yours, Sean. Couldn't let you get one up on me.
Saw that same day.
So yeah, I suppose it's been tough going, but I suppose still tipping along.
Here, before I get to you, Eric, on this one, because I know you did like a 2-hour run, and just before you put us all to shame, Connor, I just want to let you know with that 5K run, I was running through hills and stuff and farms in the middle of nowhere. Like I ran today, I did a 10K, and I said to you before, Connor, actually, there's this thing where you have at the end of September, October, if you're running in Dublin and you pass someone else running, I can see Aaron rolling his eyes already, but if you see someone that's already done a marathon or is running as well at the end of September, heading October, they're doing the marathon, so you give a little nod, and it's like a marathon nod, why we're training. It's different now. When I saw a couple of people cycling and I went over the opposite side of the road and I gave a little nod as in this social distancing, we're doing anything we can just to get by and for that headspace. But here running through the farms and stuff is not running through farms, we're running out here with hills. The hills are a killer. Today it was all uphill with a small little downhill, and logically that makes no sense, but it happened, and I crossed a hybrid between a milk van and a tractor. Don't ask how, but that's exactly what it looked like. So my mind is blown. And on that note, Eric, how has your runs been going?
I don't think I've seen anything as magical as what you've seen on your runs anyway. But I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, once we got we could kind of see in the week or two leading up to it that we probably weren't gonna see a marathon with everything else being cancelled. So I haven't been as strict on my training. I've kind of just done what it felt like. So if it felt like a long run, I went for a long run. If it felt like a short one, I do a short one. And particularly now we're all in kind of the isolation and social distancing, so I'd go for a run in the morning, and then come the evening time, being stuck in the house all day, I just was finding myself going out. I'm lucky that 2 people I'm living with as well are into the sports and the outdoors as well, so we've been getting runs and cycles in mornings and evenings, so but not really sticking to what we were talking about. Here's some coming in to say hello. But yeah, look, you've no space anymore, but we're all in this together. So but yeah, we're getting in and out most days, twice a day with cycles and runs, and just doing what we feel like as opposed to sticking to a routine, as opposed to the structure of the marathon training, because it's all very different now, and it's just getting out and doing what you can. So yeah, I've done a couple of long ones, a couple of 18Ks, and
Daily.
A 5k here and there, but we went on a 50k cycle this morning, so just doing different stuff just to get out and about, and to spend more time out of the house while we have good weather, I suppose. And like you, seeing other cyclists, people out walking, having that common nod, just to be like, I see you are escaping all the housework as well, so it is good.
Yeah, and like obviously that social distance thing and all the rest is first and foremost most important thing. Like if you're in a crowded area, we're not saying going out and running and stuff like that, but sometimes just getting out of the house, doing something can be great for your mental health. Moving on a little bit, like the first 11 episodes, obviously everything built towards doing the Madrid Marathon, and we didn't quite get there, but I know that was the main goal. We didn't get it done. It was out of our hands, all the rest. But I still don't think it was a failure. I think we learned a lot. And like from my perspective, even the second last episode we did, Eric, you were talking about doing like interval runs, and you were saying like you and your mate Ozzy, I think you're living with now, we're doing like 3:45 pace kilometre runs and getting a bit of a break going again. And in the back of my mind, I was going, 3:45 is insane, because my best was a 4:04 and could do a 5k, and that was once, and I was like dead for the rest of it. My time went straight down. So I hopped on a treadmill there like 2 weeks ago. This before it was actually my last time in the gym before everything kind of started to happen. And I jumped on the treadmill and I said, feck it, we'll see what happens. So I put on 4 minute for a 4 minute kilometre pace, and I went at it and I somehow got it done. I was like, ooh, took a 2 minute break. I know a bit long break, but I took a 2 minute break. I went back at it again, and I did it another 4 times. I was like, that was the quickest treadmill session ever, even though the whole thing took around 35-36 minutes, because the breaks, the fact that I was going 4 minute kilometers and maintaining it was like, to me, it was unbelievable that I was able to do that, because my average is like 4:40 on a really, really good day. So to get knocked 40 seconds off, I know I'm only doing 1 kilometer, but I know if I kept that training up, it would help me big time. So my question, I suppose, to you, Eric, first would be, out of the 11 episodes, is there anything you heard from the three of us, or anything you thought of on that journey that you could apply to your training you felt helped you?
Yeah, I suppose from listening to, Budden didn't talk much, Aaron, so I didn't listen to him. But I know, from listening to we all have different theories, but I suppose from listening to Connor and Sean and Aaron differently, I think variety is one thing I definitely brought in. So I found myself in the board times, like I'd be going on my long runs and stuff, but on the shorter days, I try and get in a second training session where I usually do push-ups or sit-ups or core exercises. And I actually found a big difference in how I was feeling. Physically, I felt stronger. I felt that working on my core actually helped with my breathing and my running and keeping my form, and I wasn't dragging my hips and stuff. Like my hips kind of go a bit wobbly when I get tired and stuff. So I felt by strengthening the core and following along what you guys have been doing with certain strength training exercises. I didn't go lifting mad weights now. I was mostly body weight stuff and the odd weights here and there. But I did find I actually really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed seeing the slight change in physique over the couple of, now I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything, but definitely the tone in other areas, because when you're running quite a lot, obviously you'll have toned legs, but the rest of the body isn't really benefiting from the whole thing. So to see that kind of upper body work as well as the lower body, I just felt a lot stronger, I felt a lot fitter. So taking that from you guys, I could definitely, I don't think I'll go back. I think I'll keep those additions into my training in terms of the bodyweight stuff. And even with the guys here, since I've been here the last week, I see Austin does pull-ups and push-ups after a run or before a run, and it's, you know, he really enjoys it. And they were doing core workouts here, so definitely something I've been lacking, and definitely something I'm going to continue with in the future. I found a big difference in myself, and I suppose once you feel good, we've always talked about it, Connor's mentioned it, once you feel good and what feels right to you, it's good to go with. But definitely I found a big difference. I'll be carrying that on in any training I go on with.
That's awesome, because to me, I think a lot of people should do more strength training in their marathon running, but it's trying to find that balance. Aaron, I'm not going to ask you next, I'm going to leave that for you last. Connor, how have you found? Have you anything you picked up over the first 11 weeks that you've applied in your training, something different, or have you realised that the hurling is a ridiculous sport?
No, never. Never realised that. Look, I think the beauty of this is that, and I suppose the reasoning for why we did this is that we obviously come at marathon running from such different backgrounds, and you know, look, I think from your side, Sean, obviously, you know, we've had conversations in the past and worked out together, so you know, I've always enjoyed the strength training aspect, and variety, I suppose, is something that we often have with hurling, because we do touch on things like interval runs, but I think for me the big thing was Eric going to that depth and talking about heart rate training, and the interval runnings and the different ways, I suppose, that you kind of build yourself up to grow accustomed to that distance. And I suppose my ethos has always been just simply, just run, and perhaps build up distance, but always work towards a marathon pace. And that's, I don't want to say it's worked for me because, perhaps it's not the optimal way for me to train. And I suppose over the last couple of weeks, I've toyed and tried out little bits and pieces of that interval training and maintaining certain heart rate zones on Garmin. And again, I mean, that's just something that, was a little bit different. It's something I really enjoyed doing as well. I think I can see the benefit certainly in looking at it as a long-term strategy. I think for me that was something that I never really knew existed. So, that for me was one of the key learnings of this process.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. Sorry, I turned my microphone there. Yeah, great work. The heart rate thing was very interesting for me as well. Something that from a distance just seemed way too scientific to get involved in, but the way Eric kind of broke it down, I was like, actually, this does make a lot of sense, and I realised that I do an element of it without knowing I'm doing an element of it. Like my approach to a long run be different to a short run, and then bringing the interval training into it as well. While I'm not monitoring my heart as accurately, I'm just taking slightly longer breaks in my intervals. It's still the same kind of principle. With that said, I will kind of preface this question with it's his first one. Fair play to you, Aaron, for even attempting and getting there. It would have been very interesting to see how you would have got on in a month or 6 weeks time.
Yeah, like if we're taking it as a success, I clearly, even though a marathon didn't happen, I clearly beat the 4:30 time. So
how in the name of
they're going to give me here now, or what's like you going to present?
Explain that to me. Get your abacus back out and explain that. How did you beat the 4:30 when you didn't run further than 11k?
I think 11k, right? Yeah. Well, here's he said it was a success, and that was pretty much it, I think my time for 11k was around the 4:30 anyway. I think it was a bit quicker than the 4:30. I'm just going to add, 15 minutes for traffic, just
15 minutes for traffic over 11k. Nolan, go ahead.
15, and I'm just add 15 minutes for traffic and it'll be fine.
Okay. Right? They say your full marathon time is your best half marathon time doubled, and then add half an hour, and that's at the absolute best. If you've not even done a half marathon, don't even talk about it.
Look at the momentum from the body weight that I have,
You're not going downhill for 42 kilometers. There's no momentum.
Like a freight train, you just can't stop it. You just want the movement. And
what was that Denzel movie, The Train? Unstoppable. Aaron's the train. I know, fair play. We will rope you in the future going for another marathon, but for now, we've no actual challenges because obviously with social distancing and everything else, every kind of race under the sun is shut down right now. So, and we talked about this offline before we went on the podcast. We were thinking about setting our own little challenges. We're all able to do a 5k. So we were thinking if on Mondays we just set a 5k day. So each week we try to do a best 5k. Everyone's kind of in agreement for that one.
Yeah.
We're just...
You better unmute there and agree to this.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then just basically what you said there, Connor, with the heart rate training and all the rest, and my kind of story with the interval training. On Wednesdays we could do, Eric, would your intervals, would you do every 1k interval, or could you do a 1k interval break, or?
Like I understand not everyone is going to have a Garmin, so it's not going to be unless you can judge with your eye a kilometre. You can do it for time if you haven't got a distance gauge.
Yeah.
So the interval is just you're going to do something for nearly at maximum effort for either a distance or a time, and then you're going to rest for a period of time. So the interval, I can put up some sample intervals as I do them, and people can divide the times and distances as they suit.
We could keep it simple though. Just do like a 1k interval break, and then just have everyone kind of on the same board. Especially the four of us. Just give the four of us a goal. to improve our own time. And obviously, if we did something like towards a long run the weekend, then we'd have to mix it up because Eric, you run for 6 hours and Aaron runs for 6 minutes, and we need to get a balance between all of us.
Well,
I kid because I love, man.
or whatever.
I think 6 minutes is a bit of an exaggeration, John.
But yeah, what we're thinking is we could do this and get a load of people involved. Obviously, first and foremost is social distancing. So right now the running groups and all that is kind of out the window because we shouldn't be running in groups. You shouldn't really be running with partners and stuff like that. And like you said, Eric, and I was saying today, we saw like social distancing. One person was cycling and running, and you're going over your opposite side of the road, giving that L, social distancing, nod, and away you go. So if we had something like just for now until we get a bigger goal when all this thing blows over, and no one knows how long it's going to last. That's what we haven't really mentioned. We've actually it's the virus that has not been mentioned so far somehow. that name's not been mentioned. But anyway, we could have different challenges throughout the week, bring people into groups, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to link in the show notes this podcast a link for a Facebook group, and then if you guys are interested and you're able to do it, a 5k run on the Monday or even a 3k run on the Monday, just something, post up your score, use it for accountability, so you have that kind of running community, and it's going to keep us on our toes, seeing how each other and how others get along doing runs. And Eric's got a housemate at the moment that's pretty much like a Superman when it comes to running. His 5k time is Aussies.
No, myself and Austin, I suppose in the build up to the marathon last year, I think Austin just put in a 1950 5k or something. So,
and I'm right in saying he's the reason you're getting faster in your runs.
Yeah, it was sub 20 anyway.
Sub 25k. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
Sean's just incredibly jealous right now.
Oh, 100%.
If only you could live here too, Sean, you would run sub 25k's.
What's that?
If only you could live here too, you'd run a sub 20.
I'm sub 25 at the moment. I'm not much lower than 25. I think during this training, 23:40 or something was the fastest I got.
Yeah. Well, I won't be running a sub 20 anyway. I'm gonna ease into this and see how we build it over the next couple of weeks. But I think you're right. I think it's there's no need to mention it because everyone knows what's going on. But I think this is a great opportunity for everyone because we're all stuck in. And in fairness, the majority of people are staying at home. They're looking after themselves.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of people walking. It's a great opportunity to start a habit, and be it out of boredom or just to try something new. And if anyone is an example, it's Aaron. He definitely put himself out there, and I know we slag him and stuff, but put himself forward for a marathon. I think he's absolutely blessed it didn't happen, but he put himself forward and he ended up running 11k. And I think Aaron said he didn't take much from it, but I think for anyone who's listening, that's a big thing to take away, that he went from ground zero to not running in 2 years to actually covering an 11k in a decent time for someone who hasn't ran. So
yeah,
I think it's a great idea. I think this is a way to get people involved, and everyone can set their own levels. The competition is always, as we always say, and Connor has mentioned before, the competition is with yourself.
Yep.
We're there to give people a springboard to say how they get on, encourage their friends to join in with them, and help people make groups while being alone, I suppose, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's shitty times at the moment, but just, every cloud is silver lining, and it's just something to get out and do some sort of training, just get out there. And like even today, like I was thinking about what to do with this podcast and stuff, just out running, and it was just so much clearer than sitting in going, are we going to do another episode, are we not going to do an episode? And all this kind of came to me today, and I was ring you guys separately, and you guys had your input and stuff as well, and just between the four of us coming up with this right now. But that all came from us just running, the clear head and everything. Like I do believe, it can help. Just mental health is so important right now. And being cooked up in all the day is no for me.
No, it's difficult, and I think we're entering a time that's completely unprecedented. And look, I think something like this challenge, it gives people a chance to interact first of all with other human beings, and secondly, we always view this process as being an opportunity to bring our own ethos to the public and anyone who's interested, and I think that first and foremost, it's a challenge. Eric's alluded to it. It's a self-motivated challenge. You shouldn't be basing your times off ours or anyone else's. And secondly, it gives everyone a chance to to kind of come together and look, I think, if nothing else, if, there's people out there who are lonely, who, I suppose are looking for running buddies in a virtual way, if this ends up being nothing more than that, then,
it's success. Aaron, you in?
Yeah, Connor's happy to run with people, I guess, obviously not now, but later on.
Not now. Social distance, man.
Virtually, Aaron, virtually,
yeah. Hold the phone beside you and just run, chat to Connor. How are you getting on?
It's not about having me there. I was about to say something really nice to you, and I thought twice, and I'm not going to do it now.
And on that bombshell, here we go again, I suppose. After 1 week of, not even a week, we're straight into, I suppose, let's call this season 2 of Any Given Runday, the quarantine edition.
The quarantine edition.
And let's see how it gets on. So I'm going to set up that Facebook group. We'll get a few people on board. And guys, if you're listening to this show, hopefully it should drop some stage Monday. If it's dropped Monday, you're obviously listening to it. And we'll get started. Hit us up on Instagram. Let us know what you think with the challenge. Any other questions you got to ask, let us know from there. Lads, anything else to add before we go back into isolation for the next?
Yeah, so I'll jump in. So just obviously, we've gotten, as you say, we've gotten great traction through Instagram, a lot of, really nice messages and things like that on Facebook as well. So obviously, what makes a massive difference is if you are enjoying, the podcast, please feel free to leave a review on iTunes or Spotify. It just means that it gets pushed further out. And obviously, if you're enjoying it, we're sure there's a good host of people out there who may enjoy it as well.
Cool. Yeah, that's brilliant.
I'm looking forward to it, lads. This is going to be a nice new challenge, and hopefully we can bring our families along with us, our friends, and just try and encourage everyone to get out there and be active. It's a challenging time for everyone, but we're just going to talk about the positives of getting out there, and we want you to talk about the positives as well. Just give us all a bit of an out. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm actually looking forward to this and getting more people involved in this smaller scale stuff than I am. Hard to admit, but this is really enjoyable. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so we start Monday. If you're listening, it's Monday. It's 5K Monday. Let's go. And on that note, thank you once again for listening to this week's episode. Thank you for listening to season 2. Somehow we got renewed for a second season of the Any Given Runday podcast. I'm taking that little win as long as every other little win I can get right about now. So thank you once again for listening to... What's that, Aaron?
Didn't even have to break 11K,
Marathon training less than 11K only on the Any Given Runday podcast. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but with that said, guys, we're signing out this episode of the podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing to support. Join us on the Facebook community and throw in your 5K times from there, and let's try and build something together in this one. From the 4 of us, take care.